never goes away. People do still love vinyl, but it's streaming, isn't it, where most people are at now. Rob Fiddaman is a music expert, and he's on the line now. Rob, morning.
Good morning, Elliot. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Are you surprised by this, Rob? Are you still buying CDs at all?
Not really. Only the fact I drive an old 70s Beetle around, and it doesn't pick up many radio stations, so I occasionally still have to buy a CD. But that people that are massive fans of, say, Amy Winehouse or Nirvana or Oasis, if they bring out limited edition box sets and CDs, and people will still buy them for the collectability. But personally, no, I don't actually. I'm like a lot of people. I'm hugely into vinyl myself at the moment.
Yeah, but that's more of a sort of. I think that's a kind of a hobby, isn't it? Really, well, unless you've got an incredibly good, expensive hi-fi setup. I mean, I do wonder how many people play this vinyl. Don't you just sort of get it out and look at it, or sort of stroke it, because it's quite a nice thing, vinyl, isn't it? I
know. Well, I used to do actually, and then I started DJing with it. So now I have to
play it.
But I do actually, and I find I get quite a lot of gigs because people like to actually hear you play DJ with vinyl. People like to see you pick it up, take it out of the sleeve. It's a bit of a showmanship, really, isn't it, these days to DJ with that?
What you could do is you could still use a laptop and hide it and just pretend you're doing it with the vinyl. It'd be a lot less fuss.
Usually good if you've DJed for a few hours after several pints, of course. But yes,
good point.
No, I mean they sold about, I think it was just under 5 million in sales for vinyls last year. I mean, there is a lot of collectability to it. It is kind of popular again. But don't forget the CD, it was designed in about 1979 to take about 80 minutes of music. I think the first commercial CD sold was ABBA was The Visitors in November 1981. So, I mean, it's had a great go, hasn't it? And then unfortunately it was hit by MP3, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon. And then, like you say, the fashion, it all comes back round again. It's now vinyl. So, I mean, I don't think we certainly haven't seen the end of it. I mean, it's still making, like you say, over 115
million. Yeah, it's still a lot of money, isn't it? Do you think though that other supermarkets, once one goes, they all tend to follow? Do you think so? Yeah. Do you think all the other supermarkets will stop selling them?
Well, like you say, they all started selling vinyl again, didn't they? And jumped on that. I'm not so sure. Somebody might see a window and think, well, if they're not selling it down the road, we'll still sell them. But I think they will be phased out over time. But it's like anything. People are used to a certain kind of product, and people will still want CDs. I mean, not everybody wants to fiddle around looking for stuff. People just want to physically pick something up and put it in a CD player.
Well, you get the artwork, don't you? That is the one thing with physical media that I must admit I miss that with streaming. You don't tend to get the lovely artwork and the sleeve notes and all the other bits and pieces that you get with physical media.
Yeah, people want something to hold. And also don't forget, like you said, the artwork, especially the albums or CDs, people like to have them on display at home on the shelf and look at them and bring back memories, which you can't when, you're just looking at music on Spotify, can you?
Yeah, true. But you don't have to dust Spotify, do you?
No, I think it's very good. I think it is very good. But people are happy with certain medias, aren't they? People like vinyl or CDs. But we certainly haven't seen the end of the CD, Elliot, that's for sure. And with all this hype now, you probably find the sales will go up again this week.
Yeah, very true. Well, I mean, and then also if people are daft enough to buy cassettes, which they are, because even cassettes are starting to come back now, and they were rubbish. So people probably will carry on buying CDs, which are still pretty good sounding. Rob, thank you very much. I mean, actually, a CD will probably be slightly higher quality than an average streaming service, because it will be. Well, I'm not going to get into boring things about compression rates, because no one needs to hear that. Be sent back to sleep. You've got to be woken up. But yeah, it's slightly higher audio quality, isn't it? Interesting to speak to Rob. Thank you very much. Let us know what you think. Do you still buy CDs? Or have you just gone completely streaming now? Because it's all about that, isn't it? It's so easy. Literally every single thing you can think of, you can probably find.